Most applicants preparing for the Kira Talent interview will focus almost entirely on what they're going to say. But what matters just as much, if not more, is what your body is communicating while you speak. I'm a former professional dance competitor, and one of the first things I learned was your body is always talking, even when you're not aware of it. Today, I'm going to walk you through the messages that you are sending with your body language and what admissions committees are reading on camera. Then, I'll show you how to use your body language so that you say what you want to say. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Caitlin, an Oxford MBA and admissions consultant who has helped hundreds of students win interviews and offers to attend all of the top business schools in the world. Think of this as a Kira body scan. I'm going to show you the messages that the admissions committees are picking up from the part of your body that they can see, which is from the top of your head all the way down to about the bottom of your bicep. Now, within this part of your body, there are 9 areas that I want to go through. Your forehead, eyes, mouth, chin and head, neck, chest, shoulders, torso, and arms and hands. First, let's talk about your forehead. Now, there is a range of movements that you can do with your forehead, and they'll send different messages. Now, what I'll tell you for the Kira Talent interview is if you are very expressive and you use your forehead a lot like this, I do that, then you want to maybe tone it down a little bit and be more intentional with when you use your forehead. However, if you're on the other side and you never use your forehead, it's just totally flat, even when you're saying something that you're passionate about or you're interested in, you're never raising your forehead, then it can send a message to the admissions committees that you're not interested in what you're talking about or even being here interviewing with them. Second, we have your eyes. Now, if your eyes are darting around the entire time, it's going to send the message that you're nervous, you're anxious or uncertain, or if you're staring at yourself in the screen that you can see yourself in, then it's going to send the message that you are self-conscious. So the goal for eye contact is you want to look in the center of your screen or at your camera, and then when you're saying something, you can look away briefly and then come right back to that place intentionally. So even though you can't see them, you have to believe that there's another human being on the other side of your camera watching you. So if they were really there, you would look at them. You wouldn't be looking down or around or looking distracted. You would keep eye contact and maybe look away a few times to think. Next, we have your mouth. And when you keep it completely neutral, you're going to send the message that you are either unfriendly or unengaged. And we don't want to send either of those messages. So anytime you can think to smile, maybe at the beginning of an answer or at the end of your answer, or if you're saying something personal, then do it, because that is an opportunity for you to invite warmth into the conversation. And what we're going for is confident, friendly, and professional. So I want to drill this point a little bit because the smile is so important to your overall performance in the Kira Talent interview. It's because when the admissions committees are looking at your videos for the Kira Talent interview, they're asking themselves, is this a person that other people in this class that we are designing are going to want to talk to? And if you're just completely shut down and you have no smile, you never smile, and there's no happiness on your face at all, then it's not going to be encouraging to them. They're going to think, oh, this person doesn't really want to connect with the people in the class. And a big part of that master's experience is the connections that you're going to make. Next, we have our chin and our head. Now, if we have our chin tucked too far down, that's going to reduce presence. When we lift it too high, it's going to send a message of arrogance or that we think we're the best thing in the world. We don't want either of those messages to be sent, so we want to get a very neutral chin. Okay, so I think of keeping my chin parallel to the ground. Now, as far as head movement goes, you can nod slightly, or you can tilt your head if you're thinking to one side or another, but not too much. You want more controlled movements with the head, because if you're doing crazy things, it's gonna be crazy for them to watch. Next, we have our neck. Now, when you have a long neck, it's going to communicate ease and confidence. Now, I've heard this described different ways. I'll tell you how I learned it as a dancer is I imagined taking a string and connecting it to the base of my skull and then taking that string and pulling that part up. And that helped me get a longer neck and have that better posture. Now, I've also heard it described, which I love, is you're trying to create the greatest distance between your earlobe and your shoulder that you can, so that helps you think of getting a longer neck. So you're going for length, not stiffness. So don't tense, because that's gonna appear like you are anxious. Next, we have the chest, and this one is non-negotiable. Your chest needs to stay open always. A sunken chest will instantly reduce authority, no matter how strong your answer is. So when I'm coaching my clients one-on-one, I'm always telling them, lift your chest, and you're gonna have to keep saying it to yourself. It's not hard to do. Most people understand, oh, I'm doing this, now do this. That's all you have to do is lift your chest. But you have to just keep reminding yourself as you're talking to lift your chest until it's natural now that you just speak with a lifted chest. Next, we're going to talk about your shoulders. So if you have your shoulders very high like this, or they're rounded forward like this, it's going to send the message of insecurity or tension, which even if you feel confident and secure, it will look like you're insecure. So let's fix it. We're going to start by rolling your shoulders back, and then we drop them. Okay, so this is the ideal place we want your shoulders to be, because remember, we're creating that distance between our shoulder and our earlobe. Okay, and then start getting used to talking with your shoulders down. If they start to creep up, push them back down, drop them. So the way that I tell my students to do it is you breathe in, lift your shoulders, and then breathe out and relax them all the way down. Now, this is another non-negotiable for me because it makes such a big difference to your appearance. You have no idea. When you try it, look in the recording of yourself with scrunched shoulders and then do a recording of yourself with them relaxed. You will look like a different person. Next is our torso. Now, if you're leaning too far back with your torso, it's going to look like you're disengaged. If you're too far forward, it's going to appear that you're a little bit too eager or maybe unaware of how you're fitting into the frame. Okay, so we want to have just a very slight lean forward. So you're thinking about leaning forward from your hips. Okay, so I'm just gonna lean forward my body just slightly, like this. Okay, now this is gonna signal interest, that you are interested, and readiness. Finally, let's talk about your arms and your hands. Now this is a big one because many people are not sure, should I use my hands and am I using them too much or too little? Now my answer is it depends. What it depends on is the culture that you come from and the school that you're applying to, what country are they in, and what culture is surrounding that. So I'll give you a very specific example of when hand gestures work too much for a situation, okay? So my husband is Italian, and when he came to the US several years ago, he realized that Americans kept looking at his hands because he was using his hands to speak. And so he finally got the message, oh, they're not even really listening to me when they get distracted by my hands. So he has reduced those hand gestures to a point where they're not distracting Americans. So you need to ask yourself, am I coming from a culture where we use a lot more of hand movements and gestures to signal and to explain things? And if so, then maybe tone it down a little bit for the university that doesn't have that. So that's a lot of body parts to keep in your mind and to keep track of. So since we don't have years, we usually only have days to prepare for the Career Talent interview, I'm going to use my KISS mantra, which stands for Keep It Structured and Simple. I'm going to tell you how to improve your posture in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is chest. Step 2 is shoulders. Step 3 is torso. So you're going to lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and lean your torso slightly forward. This will instantly make you look like another person. Now, this comes from my dance coach, and he told us that every time we practice, we need to record ourselves, because what we think we look like based on how we feel when we're doing it is never what it actually looks like, which we realized was true when we finally took his advice. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. The best way to improve is to record yourself to see what it actually looks like. So you want to record yourself saying something like, "Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm excited about this program because it aligns perfectly with my background, where I'm going next, and who I want to become." Then watch your video, not for content, but for presence and posture. So I'll give you 5 common mistakes that I see when I'm coaching my students for the Career Talent interview, so you can start to know what to look for in your own video. I see a lot of shoulders coming up or creeping forward. I see a lot of sunken chests. I see that the torso is too far back or leaning too far forward. I see that the eyes are going all around and not looking directly at the camera. And then a lot of times I'll see an overall tension. You know, it comes in different ways. It might be here on the side of your neck, or maybe your shoulders tense. And so that's when I'll tell my students just to take a deep breath in and out and let that flow through you. It'll come across way better. You will look very strong. Kira is about showing admissions committees that you are ready to show up in classrooms, in groups, and in professional environments. Confident, friendly, and professional. When your body language supports your words, people don't just hear you, they believe in you, because your body language is saying that you believe in yourself, and that's what admissions committees are looking for. If you want even more support with the Kira Talent interview, then you should check out my Kira Mastery System. It's linked to below. I've gone through all of the topics that you need to know to be fully prepared for the Kira Talent interview. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.